You know, folks, I'm pretty sure you can find better reviews than what you can probably find better reviews than what I'm going to give you here. So, sorry about that. I figured, you know, excuse me. I figured, you know, might as well have some kind of visual aid in while I'm explaining this and talking about it. But like I said, you can look here on YouTube and you can probably find better comparisons than what I'm going to talk about with you in this video. And that is the differences between the original Xbox, the original big white Xbox, and the smaller Xbox known as the Xbox 360 Slim. Now the original 360, as many of you know, is smaller, it's more compact, the box it comes in is smaller, and of course you get a couple variations of it. One that you can get is 500 gigabytes, the other is about 250 gigabytes, and the smallest is 4 gigs, and the smallest being the more cheaper one out of them all. Excuse me. So, what version did I get? Well, of course I got the smaller one, the more cheaper one, the 4 gig. Which unfortunately means I can't transfer a lot of my stuff onto the Xbox, but I can still play it. All I'd have to do is have the hard drive right there with the cable, with the transfer cable and all that. The only thing is I don't know if I damaged the transfer cable or not when I tried to connect the original memory card to it to try to transfer stuff from there. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Dumb move. And you'd be right about that. Because pretty much the memory card is history, but it looks like the transfer cable's okay still. I'll have to test it later and see. Anyway, what is the big So anyway, what is the big difference between them? Well, like I said, the Xbox Slim, depending on what version you get, is different in many ways. Now, if you do get like a 2 gigabyte, the 500 gigabytes or 250 gigabytes, you're probably going to have an Xbox that seems very similar to the one you had before, but it's black, more sleeker, and it is smaller. I mean, they're all smaller. That's why they're called the Slims. It's just that the bigger ones have a design that's very identical to the original Xbox in some ways. They're just more sleeker and more slimmer, more compact. Just like this one is. Matter of fact, let me go make sure of that. Hold on. Like I said, the difference is basically the size. Now, and the design is a little bit different too. You can kind of tell that the 4 gigabytes are, small. The 4 gigabyte systems are smaller in size than the 250 gigabyte Slims or the 500 gigabyte Slims. And the design is different too. I believe. In fact, I'll look it up here. Hold on for a sec, trying to look here. Got a filter. Games. That's video games. Go electronics then. Oh, there we go, never mind. Hold on for a sec. There we go. Yeah, but there is a big difference, like I said, between all of them. This one right here, I'm not sure if you can see the picture very well, is the one I have. That is the Xbox 4 GB. That is basically the one that I do have. Like I said, I don't know if you can see that very well. And you can tell that the design is different. It's similar, but it's different. Now, I believe as we move higher up, they even have a 2015 spring value. Hold on. Well, they're basically all the same design, I should say. Yeah, they're basically all the same design. It's just that one after the other is has more gigabyte space than one. But yeah, some of them. I mean, they're basically all the same design. It's just that what makes them more expensive is the inclusion of not just an exclusive game like Call of Duty or something like that, but it's also the gigabyte space as well. Now, like you saw there, and I'm sure, like I say, if you YouTube anybody else's reviews and comparisons, like irate gamers, you will see that there is a huge difference in size, and comparison and stuff like that. There's a huge difference. Another big difference, of course, is the wiring. Now, for anybody that thinks, oh, well, we could just hook up our old Xbox 360 wiring to it. Fat chance. Because this is gone in favor of something more audio-wise. Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. You see, the new audio-video cable is not as long, but it's long enough. It's all black. It's all sleek and black to where the white, red, and yellow are not this much exposed. I mean, you have like little white trim, red trim, and yellow trim, I believe, that kind of indicates what's what. And the connection to the back of the system, like I said, it's no longer this. This, if you keep your other 360 system, yeah, you keep this as well, because instead, what you get Sorry about that, folks. I had to go look for something to do a comparison. But instead, what you get is something like this. A little thicker and bigger, if you will. A little thicker and bigger, but you get something like this. And this design, which is gold and a little bit thicker and bigger. Maybe about that size. A little bit. Basically, it's not this small. It's probably about maybe a little bit bigger, about that size right there. But you get a gold version of this, basically an audio a regular audio plug that you plug in into thing. You basically it's basically like an audio line-in plug that you have that now is your audio video that now connects to the back of your Xbox 360 Slim. That is one of the big differences. The other big difference, of course, is the power plug. You still get a brick. The brick is smaller though, I can see that already. It's also black. And the plug isn't bulky when you connect it to the back of the Xbox this time. It's a little smaller, a little bit more smaller and normal than before. So yeah, those are some of the big differences there, and they are huge differences. Of course, like many other people have pointed out with the Xbox 360 Slim, you do get 2 USB ports in the front, just like the old one, but on the bottom now, not on the side. And you do get 2 USB ports on the back, along with a LAN cable, just in case you want to do your internet through that, your online stuff through that, as well as it has built-in Wi-Fi, and it has HDMI output as well. So those are just some of the newer things when you compare the old Xbox, original Xbox, to the newer one. Now I know a lot of people think, well, now I know a lot of people still ask the question, why did they replace the old Xbox? Why did they come up with this new rebooted, more revamped version, more sleeker, compact version? Well, this is something that's always happened in video games for years. It doesn't matter what kind of it doesn't matter what generation it's been. The majority of the time, a lot of gaming companies out there have given you smaller, more compact, sleeker versions of the original system. Nintendo did that twice with the NES and the Super NES. The Sega Genesis, you don't even have to ask. They've done that like 3 or 4 times with the Genesis. You know. Turbo Graphics, they've done it several times, mostly with the Turbo Duo. PlayStation, they did it with the PS1 and the PS2 and the PS3. So it's natural Xbox did the same thing. But anyway, the point is, the reason they also did that is because I think they got a lot of complaints at the fact that because the other one was bulky, it wouldn't really work as well. I mean, mine lasted, believe it or not, for 7 years. No, 6 years, just almost 7 years. It would have been 7 years this December. But it lasted for about 6.5 years. So that's that's a pretty good long time. But I think the other reason as well is the fact that it was big, but it didn't have much in the way of like ventilation and all that, and you had to always buy like certain things like hard drives to connect to the side. So so there was a lot of things I think they realized that needed to be revamped and fixed. They'd make it more sleeker, more of an improvement, more worth people's money to buy. Now mine, of course, that I just got is underneath the same white tray that I had the white one under. So I don't think that's going to harm it much as long as I keep it clean and neat and safe. So I don't think it'll harm it that much because quite honestly, if that was the case, the white one would have given out long ago. And also, I have seen people do this many times I've seen people with videos here on YouTube and stuff that have the 360s, the new slim ones and all that, packed away in a shelving area or an entertainment area to where they might have something on top of that because they got no more room to put something. Like a game or something or anything. But anyway, long story short, the Xbox 360 Slim, it's just the first of many. I mean, let's face it, the Wii's done it with the Wii Mini that's out. You know, a lot of gaming companies with their consoles have done this. Even Atari has done this. You know, this is nothing new. It's just in a way to improve things and make things better. It's basically like the first design is sort of like a prototype to see how people will react to it and maybe see what needs to be improved. And there you go. I know that sounds a little confusing and complex, but the point is that is exactly why companies always bring out more sleeker, smaller versions and more improved versions of the consoles than they are of the original consoles. So that way, let's say like with mine, the disc tray doesn't work anymore. You can always go out and get a new one, and it will be sleeker and more compact. And that's another thing about the disc tray. The disc tray is a little bit more sleeker, does look better, look like it's more stable, doesn't look like it's going to jam or anything. And believe it or not, the loading time is a lot quicker. Even when you put a disc in there, the loading time is a lot quicker. So that is a great improvement as well. So, you know, that's all I'm going to say comparing both in this little sort of visual comparison basically talking about the differences between the original 360 and the 360 Slim. Again, you guys could check out other people's videos on it, like Irate Gamer and many other, and they'll let you know exactly probably the same thing, if not more so. So that's all I'm going to say, folks. Let me know what you think down below. Comment if you like, and I am out.